Welcome to FOverwatch, NCAA College Film Breakdown by the Faceoff Academy. Today we have Syracuse versus Denver. Syracuse in the white, Denver in the red. Off this first faceoff, you notice red kicks his feet back, white keeps his feet, and starts hunting that right hand after he loses the initial clamp. Now the reason this fails is while he does a great job of keeping his feet, bringing himself back into the play after he loses the top rail advantage, ripping upfield, his right hand comes off the top of his stick, making it very hard for him to get any leverage to move as big of a guy as red is on Denver. Denver goes with a defensive exit, goes out the back, and Jay curves upfield for the break, and we're on to the next draw. Here, both athletes throw their left hands upfield, making it a 50-50 lockup, allowing those wings to come in. And like I like to say, guys, when the wings come into the play, you're going to have a bad day. So red wins this top rail battle. White tries to scrape upfield for a fast break, kicks the cross a little bit there. The official was looking at. But as soon as red picks up that ground ball, that long stick midfielder's all over his hands, and white draws the push. All right, our next draw here. Both guys kick their feet back. White recovers a little bit cleaner, earns the top rail. Red goes for a shovel counter, opening up his hand and grabbing the shaft. Again, I'm not going to fault anybody in the college game last year for doing this. There's literally no downside if you get caught. You've already lost the face-off. Grabbing the stick is not currently a penalty other than a change of possession. Everybody did it last year. I hope the NCAA, picks up on it and makes it a 3-minute non-releasable like it is grabbing the ball with your hand. But, here we are nonetheless. All right, next face-off coming up. Red on impact kicks his feet back like he does most of this game. White keeps his feet, and when he identifies that he's losing the top rail battle, immediately bails and goes for a reverse shovel counter, connecting to the wrist, pulling his opponent through his legs, dislodging that ball. His opponent falls to his knees, and now White's body's between the man and the ball. He rolls to the inside, putting his opponent on his back. Now has a clean shot to the ball for a reverse fast break going back towards his goalie. Red makes an awesome play here. Love the hustle. That was always something that we love seeing out of Alex Stathakis over his 4 years, how tough he played. But there's nothing you can really do here other than what he's doing. Probably could have been a call to hold. I like that they didn't call it here, but that's why you put your opponent on your back. It's an excellently landed reverse shovel counter, one of the best that we saw all season for sure. So something to pay attention to on this face-off is watch Red's wrist versus White's wrist. White has a much more vertical grip versus Red, who's got a more cocked back grip. And you can see here, this allows White to kind of knife over the top of the ball, making it much easier for him to pull in the fast break because he's using 2 rails instead of 1. Now, he pops the ball a little bit far here because he just goes straight forward. We would like to see him go out a little bit more of an L break. This gives him the opportunity to get a clean shot. Not going to get much better than that. Next draw, White goes with their backup, who I think has some of the best hands in the country. Quick over the top, out the back rollout exit. As he feels his opponent is going for that front side shovel, he puts his top rail into the ground and rolls backwards to put the ball away from his opposition. Now, again, to Red's credit, just plays the entire game like he's on fire, is able to hunt down his opposition because White puts the ball a little bit high. More hang time on that ball, the more time your opposition is going to have to get to your hands. Again, White going with Mullins again. Gets an excellent true plunge over the top of the ball, but he puts the ball straight forward. And what you'll notice is he doesn't actually shield his opponent from the ball. He just kind of puts it to space where his opponent can drop his foot back, turn to the inside, and he's got a shot at his opposition's stick here and gets a desperation check. Mullins does a great job of goosing that ball back, but catches a bad bounce, and it's red ball. Super important to put that ball to the left side. Again, pay attention to Cuse's wrist on this. So he loses the top rail. and starts going for counters. He doesn't actually land any of them because he's not really committed to any one of them. So he loses the top rail, goes for a reverse shovel, doesn't really sink his teeth into it, then starts slashing at the top hand, doesn't really go for that frontside shovel either, and by then red goes for that defensive exit. So you really have to commit to those counters. Whatever one you're going to throw, see it all the way through. You're never going to split halfway through and land a different shovel. Again, building on those shovel counters, you'll see here that white goes for the reverse again after he loses the top rail battle, but isn't able to pry his opponent off the ball because he's just going with one hand. If you bring that left hand to the party and push while your right hand pulls, it'll be much more like of a can opener situation. But here we see white's hands slip off because he just doesn't have enough torque with that top hand to pull all 240 pounds of red off that ball. Red goes for that defensive exit again. White hunts pretty well, but red sets a pretty good pick, giving him space to get the ball to his defensive side. So here again, red gets top rail, goes for that defensive exit, but white starts hunting the hands there. I think he actually gets a hold call. His fingers kind of pop off, and he grabs the hand of his opposition, dragging him off of his shaft. That's going to be a call every time. Too aggressive on that frontside shovel, which wound up just being a grab, like we said. He had already lost the clamp. This just stopped a fast break exit and counts against his penalties, which is no longer a thing this year. So I want to talk about intent to move the ball after your initial move. You can see here white hits that ball and is almost, as soon as he's tapping that ball, moving the ball to the left side. That is an intention to not lock up your opposition when you know you have superior hand speed. So here you see he owns the top rail and immediately disengages from his opposition. Now after his opposition has caught him once or twice with some desperation checks, he's putting the ball much further to the left side, putting his body between the man and the ball. This is the optimized way of running a fast break, putting the ball to your left side and putting the opposition to your right, making it impossible for your opposition to reach over to steal that ball. Again, we're going to see another example of that attempt to move as fast as we own the top rail. Mullins gets over the top rail, puts the ball to that backside with that rollout exit, which he's devastating at. And again, red does an excellent job of hunting his opposition without kicking his hands, making a quick adjustment to that secondary, going for that frontside shovel. A little bit of a hand opening there. But again, Mullins puts his opposition on his back, makes a nice play. Again, these are two apex predator athletes going after that ball. But again, that rollout exit with the intent to move the ball without moving your feet gets you where you want to be. Now it looks like Mullins is really feeling himself, owning that top rail and really putting that ball to the left side. But what you'll notice is red is now setting up for that fast break to counteract any damage that white can have. So he pulls that ball to that left side, putting his opposition to his backside. But watch how quick that wing is on him. Right here he comes into frame. And if he just kind of kept his stick out, he may have kept this shot opportunity from happening. In this next clip here, you're going to see what happens when your opposition does not move his body. So here red has most of the ball, and white's just kind of sitting waiting for an opportunity to attack at the hands. Where red actually does the right thing here. Red decides he doesn't have enough of the ball to pull and bails on the play. Now both of these guys could have done this off the whistle. So right now they're in a 50-50, and red is kind of owning the top rail, but white is moving his stick off the ball by rotating upfield. Not exactly what we want to see. But red decides, hey, I don't have enough of the ball to do any damage here. I know my wings are coming in. And as white goes to leave the play, he goes for that frontside shovel, lifts the stick up, causing his opposition to throw the ball further than he would expect, giving his wings the opportunity to dig out that ball. And right here, this is a good goal-scoring opportunity. White makes a great recovery. So this is what we mean by shooting those counters early. Immediately, red gets top rail advantage. White goes for that shovel. Albeit a little bit far, he kind of goes for that left hand instead of the right. Right, you're always going to get more control on, but it does freeze his opponent in his tracks while he's going for that defensive exit, just dislodging the ball enough. Now there's a Pele situation where guys are kind of kicking the ball. White makes a better read to the play and gets frontside on the initial ground ball. And now it's just a 3-on-3 situation, which turns up what would have been a fast break situation into, kind of a ground ball scrum. Again, this third quarter was an awesome opportunity to see some counters. Red again getting that top side, going for that defensive exit. But when you go for that defensive exit, that right hand's still on the ground. That kickstand of the bike is still on the ground, even if the tires are starting to rotate. So what white does here, he identifies, I don't have top rail advantage, immediately skips to the shovel situation, goes for that reverse shovel while red's going for that defensive exit, puts the ball between his legs, rolls to the inside. Again, love seeing how hard Red plays in this situation. Gives his team the opportunity to get a shot back at the ball, and actually picks up the ground ball himself. All the credit in the world there.